Good morning again. Welcome to Advertising Week Europe with me, Andy Johnson. Delighted to welcome back Suki Thompson. We spoke last year, Suki, CEO of Oystercatchers. Very exciting times. And you're talking today all about transformation. Tell me about that.
That's right, Andy. Hello. Lovely to see you
And you.
again. Yeah, I am talking all about transformation. And I'm doing that for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it's a personal reason, because this time last year, I was looking at how do I grow and transform my business. And so I sold it in September to Centaur Media. And so that's been a big transformation journey for us. And now I'm working with Andrea Vidler, who's chief exec there, to transform Centaur Media into, away from that kind of traditional business media company into, what it's going to look like in the future.
Was that something you were looking to do for a while, or did it just happen? Just tell me the story behind that.
Look, we were on a kind of 5-year journey. We were about 3 or 4 years in. Martin Sorrell used to very kindly, I always think rather endearingly, call me Suki Matchmaker, because that's where we started. We started in how clients and agencies work together. And we grew and evolved the business. And I think one of the challenges for any entrepreneur is when you get to a certain size, you either have to stay small and kind of really boutique, or you've got to grow.
Yeah.
And we definitely wanted to grow. We had offices in Hong Kong, we had partnership in the States, but we really wanted to get some more global experience. And for our clients, they were really demanding that. So we looked at things like private equity, but actually, and a variety of different companies approached us. But that was the piece that I found, and I think Centaur is the right home for us.
And what's the message you're wanting to get across today to the audience you're going to be talking to?
So we're going to say, I've got a feeling from the clients that I talk to and what we're doing and discovering ourselves, that transformation is really the new norm of business and of marketing. And that, we're not going to be able to go back to those days where we do a little bit of a transformation and then it's all fine and we can sit quietly and wait for the next thing to happen. We have to constantly evolve. So I've got 2 fantastic people I'm talking to this afternoon, really from a spectrum. So I've got Phelan Mackle, who is the new chief exec of Dixon's Carphone. He's come out of O2, where he was running customers and sales and all the operations there. And he's going to talk about why he's gone to Carphone Dixon's and the challenges that he's got there, which is just a massive company, massive organisation. And then I've got Sophie Walker. And Sophie Walker is the leader of the Women's Equality Party. It's a party that was set up about 18 months ago.
This is with Sandy Toksvig, is that right?
With Sandy Toksvig, yeah. So she is the first leader. And I'm going to talk to her about not only how do you create a new party, but how do you create a movement? And how do you actually influence government, influence business in making all the changes that we know and still needed for women in our country as a whole.
Amazing stuff. So it's about any business really being agile, being able to adapt fairly quickly. I guess the one thing is that employees sometimes do get a bit worried about change, don't they? So how do you take employees with you when you are making these changes in a business? Because obviously you need them to go with you on the journey.
Do you're absolutely right. It's change is really hard. Change is hard for individuals and change is really hard for a company. One of the things that we talk about, there's a wonderful man called Sumatra Ghoshal who talks about the smell of a place. So we talk about at Oystercatchers, the smell of Oystercatchers. And there's an analogy, which is, when things are bad, it can feel a little bit like summer in Calcutta. And summer in Calcutta is hot and humid and not a great place to be. Although
not a great smell.
Not a great smell.
No.
And Calcutta is, at other times of the year, a lovely place, but it's not great in the summer. Whereas spring in Fontainebleau is a beautiful place. I don't know if you've been to Fontainebleau, but it is sunny and crisp and, it just wants to give you energy and makes you want to go out and be alive, and it smells amazing. And I think that there's a whole load of process stuff you need to do through transformation to make people feel comfortable. Of course, you've got to talk to your customers, talk to your people, talk to your shareholders, but actually getting the smell of the place right, creating a vision and a value, and enabling people to be empowered on that journey to create the smell that everyone wants to be empowered.
I know one thing you're very passionate about, and it's certainly a topic that's been brought up here again this week, is well-being and people's mental health. It's great that that's being talked about more and more, isn't it? But it's also very important that people not only talk the talk, but do walk the walk.
Yeah, it is. And one of the things I'm really delighted that I'm now doing at Centaur is we've got a development board. And we've set up a development board for, we've chosen and selected 10 people. They are 10 youngsters in the organisation. They're in their first or second jobs ever. And part of the role of the development board is about working for themselves and with me as their guide to bring wellness at the forefront and absolutely the core of Centaur. And that's, the importance. So we've got a wellness week. We've got some things like getting people to get up and walk around. We're trying to raise awareness about talking about mental well-being, but also things about your health and the kind of things you eat. So, I hope that within our business, we're going to be able to transform the way that we're doing that and also then talk to other clients about that as well.
Great stuff. And talk to me about leadership as well, because that has changed hugely, hasn't it? In the years you've been working at the top of industry as well, I mean, things have changed an awful lot, haven't they? What would you say it takes to be an effective leader in 2017?
I think it has changed so much, hasn't it? Years ago, even probably 10 years ago, it was okay to be at the top of a business and basically just be bossy, a bit aggressive, probably male, and just tell everyone what to do and they would follow line. It's absolutely not like that. And it's not like that for a number of reasons. One is because change of technology and the pace of change means that it doesn't matter how senior you are in an organization anymore, you're not going to know the answers. And actually, often it's the people within the organizations that are going to be able to make that seismic shift. So one, you can't just simply go to how deep is the shag pile carpet, and then basically if you go to the place where there's the biggest shag pile carpet, you've got the most senior people and they're going to be able to get the answer. You've got to empower people to get there. But I think, therefore, that it means that the vision and the purpose of an organization, we've talked a lot this week, I know AWE in the past few weeks, about trust, becomes increasingly important. And therefore, I think as a leader, authenticity, creating trust is now more important than it's ever been before.
Tell us finally, before I let you go, because you're a very busy woman, what time your talk is on and where can people join you to hear it this afternoon?
Yeah, it's on at 1:00. And it's with Phelan Mackle, and it's with Sophie Walker, so I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Well, Suki, lovely to see you again and catch up again. I'll tab you for lunch one time. Now you've sold your business, so you're the person to be with. You're buying lunch. Okay, you've heard it here officially. Can't get away with that. Before I go away and try and smell an oyster catcher, I'll remind you that it's #AW Europe to follow us and keep in contact.